The question of whether the United States would or could take over Greenland has sparked significant geopolitical curiosity over the years. Greenland, the world's largest island, holds strategic importance due to its geographic location, vast natural resources, and growing relevance in global climate change. But why would the U.S. be interested in Greenland? How do Greenland and its parent nation, Denmark, view this idea? What are the perspectives of the U.S., Denmark, and the wider international community on such a scenario? Let's delve into these questions. Greenland's significance to the U.S. is rooted in three key factors: strategic location, natural resources, and climate science. Situated between North America and Europe, Greenland occupies a pivotal position in the Arctic region. Its proximity to the Arctic Circle makes it a critical area for military and surveillance purposes. The U.S. already maintains a significant military presence at the Thule Air Base, a key installation for missile detection and space monitoring. As Arctic ice melts, new shipping lanes are opening, potentially shortening routes between major global markets. Controlling Greenland could provide the U.S. with enhanced influence over these emerging trade routes. Greenland is believed to harbor vast untapped resources, including rare earth minerals, oil, and gas. These resources are increasingly important for high-tech industries and renewable energy technologies. As the global demand for rare earths intensifies, Greenland's potential reserves make it a lucrative target for nations looking to secure their supply chains. Greenland's ice sheet is a critical indicator of global climate change. Scientists around the world study its melting patterns to predict rising sea levels and climate impacts. Having greater control over Greenland could give the U.S. a leading role in Arctic climate research and policymaking. The idea of the U.S. taking over Greenland has been met with resistance and skepticism from both Greenland and Denmark. Greenland is an autonomous territory under Danish sovereignty, with its own government handling domestic affairs. While Greenland's people value their ties to Denmark, there is also a growing sense of national identity and calls for eventual independence. The idea of being bought by another nation is widely seen as an affront to Greenland's sovereignty and cultural heritage. In 2019, when former U.S. President Donald Trump floated the idea of purchasing Greenland, it was met with widespread backlash from Greenlandic leaders who dismissed the notion outright. Denmark views Greenland as a vital part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Losing Greenland would not only be a territorial loss but also a blow to Denmark's geopolitical influence, particularly in the Arctic. Danish leaders have categorically rejected the idea of selling Greenland, emphasizing that such decisions are not theirs to make alone but would require Greenland's consent. Public opinion in both the U.S. and Denmark reflects contrasting views on the matter. Many Americans view Greenland's potential acquisition through a strategic and economic lens. While the idea might appeal to those who see it as a way to bolster U.S. dominance in the Arctic, others see it as an impractical or outdated concept reminiscent of territorial expansionism. Danes generally take pride in their relationship with Greenland and view the idea of selling it to the U.S. as absurd and disrespectful. The 2019 proposal by President Trump was widely mocked in Danish media and public discourse. Greenlanders are largely focused on their aspirations for greater autonomy and eventual independence. The idea of being sold is seen as a step backward, undermining their progress towards self-determination. The international community is closely monitoring the U.S.'s interest in Greenland, particularly in the context of Arctic geopolitics. China has its own interests in Greenland and the Arctic, particularly in mining and trade routes. Any U.S. attempt to acquire Greenland could intensify the competition between the two global powers in the region. Russia, another major Arctic player, would likely view U.S. control over Greenland as a threat to its own strategic interests in the region. Denmark's role in NATO and the EU adds another layer of complexity. Any change in Greenland's status could have ripple effects on European security dynamics and Arctic policy. While the idea of the U.S. taking over Greenland is intriguing, it remains highly unlikely. Greenland's autonomy, Denmark's sovereignty, and the complexities of international law make such a scenario implausible. However, the underlying strategic importance of Greenland ensures that it will remain a focal point in Arctic geopolitics for years to come. For now, the world watches as Greenland navigates its path between independence, Danish ties, and global strategic interests.